Hello wrestling fans, this is Tom Colohue with a news update as per moderately usual for YouTube. Mostly we'll be talking about WrestleMania this time like we did last week. Of course the video last week was on Tuesday because it was a bit more pertinent and sort of time sensitive information. It was of course 6 days later that the news broke that we would have an empty arena WrestleMania. I feel very privileged to have been able to report that early. Today I've taken a cue from a friend of mine over at Cultaholic in Tom Campbell. I've put on a nice dinner jacket. I feel slightly more suave, and when it comes to working from home, a suit is always the answer. Headline news, of course, WrestleMania is happening at the Performance Center. It will be split over 2 days, and apparently, according to WWE's PR teams, it is going to be in 2 separate locations at least. This does open a lot of options up for potential pre-recording. There's a couple of people who could benefit from it, not as in they need it, but for example we could have segments in the Firefly Funhouse and the like. Maybe have The Fiend and also Bray Wyatt make different and distinct appearances. Or of course, if we're going to have Last Man Standing between Orton and Edge, they could organise some activity in the back and make it look quite different and unique and special, and I think they could do very good things with that. There is a plan at the moment to do some pre-recording, can't say what it's going to be, but it could certainly be interesting. The plan at the moment for the 2 main events is for both World Championships, that being the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, main eventing the 2 separate nights. This of course means that both Vince McMahon and his intention to have Roman Reigns main event and Paul Heyman wanting to have Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre main event, they both get their wish. So the plan at the moment is to have the World Championships main event, although there is a sizable contingent who want to see Becky and Shayna main event. There is a lot less concern right now about sending the crowd home happy. In a lot of wrestling events, particularly big pay-per-views, they always want to send a crowd home happy, so they put the big babyface win at the end regardless of what title it's for, if indeed a title at all. Not so much a problem right now because there's going to be no one there to actually make the noise. No one's going to leave early if no one turned up to begin with. With the show being recorded, there are a couple of plans that were originally in place that may now be shelved. The initial idea for Rey Mysterio versus Andrade in a title versus mask match. Very difficult to say mask match, especially as quickly as I tried to do it there, but I think I cracked it. There were also a couple of specialist intros being planned. Drew McIntyre was going to get one, unfortunately that doesn't seem to be happening now. Bray Wyatt was going to get one. There may still be ways that they can make this happen, certain design features, but a lot of the designs and the set build that they had was based around Tampa and the stadium that they had there. It simply might not work for the Performance Center. It may be too grand, too expansive, and the pieces may not lock together in the same way that Lego normally does. Slightly different than Lego, but you get my meaning, I'm sure. It does mean we may not get a few big moments or a few big entrances. Hopefully they will still find a way to pull it off and make it interesting, different, and exciting. I should point out as well that the decision to move from Tampa to the Performance Center in Orlando was one made by Vince McMahon and the WWE. The city of Tampa had not made their decision yet. They now don't have to, of course, because the decision has very much been taken out of their hands. And I'm sure they're grateful for that. But to my knowledge, Vince McMahon and the WWE were taking advice from above them in the office of the White House, or at least advisors there. There is a sizable team. But I think it's quite interesting that we didn't have Wilson and Barrios in place. They were of course let go in the months previous. So they would likely have been on Vince McMahon's side in his intention to just keep going. Unfortunately, he didn't have that backing, and potentially didn't have the backing he needed to fight his own corner. But he has made this decision, and long and short term, whichever one it is, for the health and safety of everyone involved, I think this is probably the best decision they could make. Postponement just means that you're not going to be able to have it until you know that you've got the all clear, and from the sounds coming out, worst case scenario, we could be looking at 18 months to 2 years. That means that we don't have WrestleMania for 18 months to 2 years. People might not tune back in at all. Georgia Smith has confirmed that the Hall of Fame, which was due to feature the British Bulldog of course, will now be happening at SummerSlam, or at least that was what was suggested to her when they had a discussion about it with WWE officials. Not a bad move at all. SummerSlam is of course the second biggest event on the calendar, so it should be well worth a watch, and it does allow them to connect a bit more The Hall of Fame was never really for fans, it was more for wrestlers and therein. It's very telling that after what happened with Bret Hart last year, they did intend to shut the Hall of Fame to fans. They could still have the Hall of Fame and simply shut it to wrestlers as fans as well. However, they've decided not to do that. When you're up there giving a speech, especially if you've been out of wrestling for a while, it can be quite daunting if you've got no one to bounce off. It is likely just for the benefit of the people receiving these awards than, for example, for the fans. Finally, at the moment, when you watch Raw and SmackDown, you'll notice that there is a very small amount of wrestlers being involved. A lot of wrestlers at the minute, as you're undoubtedly seeing on Twitter, are in self-isolation or simply in enforced isolation. They're expected to be cleared very soon. There is obviously an incubation period, which they should be able to get past if they are, of course, clear. If not, they should have time to recover from it. They're, of course, very fit, very healthy. I cross my fingers and hope for the best that everyone does recover if they get it. Hopefully they'll be back in the ring very soon, all clear, well in time for WrestleMania. What we can expect is the two big battle royals, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and of course the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal, to be shelved entirely. The only matches announced so far have been one-on-one matches. The women's tag match seems very unlikely. There doesn't seem like there's going to be any tag matches on the card as it stands at the moment. So the Battle Royals definitely not happening, and a number of celebrity guests who were due to appear have been contacted and either been told not to attend, or they have contacted the WWE first to say that they would not be attending. One final note as regards myself, and it does not refer to the suit jacket, of course, though everything really does refer to the suit jacket in many ways. I am not currently working from home, as regular viewers of YouTube will be no doubt aware. I do work a full-time day job. At the moment that is still going. If at any point I am sent home to work from home, you may be seeing a lot more of me on your airways. I'm trying to get in contact with a gaming website called Eurogamer to potentially write a few gaming articles there. One idea I had is good games for OCD, for example, Football Manager, Female Spell. Bad games for OCD, for example, Skyrim, because it's massive and you never know what to do next. That's an idea I've got. You will see more of me on Daily DDT. Please check out my latest article there, and potentially more of me on Sportskeeda, but obviously I only write exclusive there, and if people aren't talking, I have nothing to say. If I get news, you'll be the first to know. Stay tuned to YouTube, and thank you for watching.